All right, cool. So we're gonna do a replay analysis on Ohio's Sanking. I've been playing Sanking a little bit recently. I've won the last two games, been winning most of them, but I think there's way more room for improvement. Um, I think item builds is gonna be very interesting because Sanking can build all varieties sorts of items. I found that I'm not really sold on what types of starting items, so I'm gonna start there. I think this double mango Gauntlet Tango Quelling Blade. The double mango seems a little bit interesting to me. I see a lot of other Sand Kings will go, or a lot of offlaners in general will go Tango Salve, Gauntlet, Fairy Fire Branch. Salve in case they go aggressive. I guess we see their safe laners likely Ricky Oracle. Like we can see that. Which isn't a huge amount of burst damage. Oracle will start getting annoying with Purifying Flames and Fortune's Ends combo at later levels, but not the biggest concern, so I guess this will survive off that. Ricky also has, oh, I forgot, they buffed this. He has way more base damage right now, so it makes sense for Strength and Quelling Blade, because it's definitely going to be contesting. This is definitely a kill lane for Dire. Linus SK is pretty classic, because Sanking has such a long disable at level 1, 1.6, and Castle is half a second. So this should be really easy to combo the two. Probably mainly focused on the Oracle. I see a lot of others will fly out like two mangoes after like a bracer finish because you want to be using mana throughout the lane. So I'd be curious to see if he's like actively using these or these are basically like a casual ringer regen type deal. Because it's similar, but of course you can use uh, pop the mango to get extra mana with the lane. So we saw him check some of his teammates' items. Lena should have the ward here. Here's where they place it. Again, I think this is a kill lane. Um, so usually I'll place it near the hard camp. This might just be a lane ward though, which is interesting too. Fast forward slightly. They definitely contest this level 1. Oracle's just not gonna do anything except channel fortunes, and Ricky can just right click you. Spells are really underwhelming early on compared to what they have in Dire. I have the tips. Nice. Trades. Posturing aggressively. He's definitely gonna stun if they come close, but not gonna happen. Lena's also really good at securing the range creep, so it's not something that SK has to worry about. So they have the option of either like trying to shove it into the tower and get the lane position back. Looks like they're going for the really hard block. Kinda doesn't work. Okay. Pulls onto the range creep. Nothing new here. Prioritizes CS. What's huge here is that, alright, so Ricky should have lost the range creep there. So I think there's another reason that SK went aggressive. It's a lot of creeps for Radiant. Will he use stun to secure ranged? He does not. So what I see like Ice 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 doing in situations like that, he'll actually just ignore the range creep entirely and being like, alright, fuck it, whatever. I'll take these 3-4 melee creeps and get it up in front of my tower and just have laning equilibrium much better. Because obviously the further away that the Radiant are from their tier 1, the easier it's going to be to set up kill combos. But it's curious that he actually goes and actually fights for this. Because it's a little sketch, because there's way more Radiant creeps. So I feel like even if he stuns and whatnot and gets the CS, if they trade, it's a little scuffed. I guess Lena out-trades the Oracle, so that's alright, but... Alright, let's continue. Gets the CS. This is what I mean, like, he gets like 2-3 right clicks off that he can't do anything around. Because he can't trade, because there's such a huge melee creep difference. Which is something that BSJ is really big on emphasizing. I'm really kind of curious about this camera perspective that he's not having. Of course, who am I to criticize him? 4K shitter compared to top 100, top 50, something? SC player. Ooh, he misses a CS because of the caustic. Also not sure about this. Like, Caustic makes a lot of sense versus melee carries, because you really dissuades them from walking into the lane, so you can get some CS for free. But it pushes the lane rather aggressively, and you have no control over that. I guess that's alright, because it's easy for them to pull as Dire offlane, especially with Lina, and if they try to contest, they can just go aggressive on it. But I've even held, like, the level 2 skill point for a while, because I very much enjoy leveling Q, just because it gives the huge cast range, and I think Sanking most of the time is going to be one starting like the stun combo between Lina and Sanking. So it's curious he goes Caustic. I guess if he doesn't, trading with Riki can be really fucking annoying. And it gives this huge potential in clearing stack camps. Although, of course, if he's clearing stack camps like this, they're not denying as much as they could be by just letting the creeps die to it. Obviously, deny some creeps, but yes, yes. This is what I mean. There's a creep following too, so he got the caustic damage. That was really nice. It's crazy. He goes Bassy. I actually really like that. I don't get early Bassy often. Obviously, ooh. Yeah, Bassy obviously builds into whatchamacallit, Veil nowadays, right? Yeah, it never builds Offering. Looking at Dota buff, I'm not sure if he actually built Veil this game, so it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, it's a really nice aggressive item for like a pause for like Lina on his team, so they can cast more spells. That's interesting. I should think of that. I should definitely write that down. So in Iger lanes, Bassy to push advantage. So I'll be taking notes throughout the whole thing. I'll be going over them at the end. Drops them all, so his Lina can pick them up. If he communicates properly, he can probably get his boots delivered to him through Lina the courier. Stuns out. Also didn't notice, but he actually used the mango earlier for engaging with Oracle. So, turns out pretty value, and we've seen that with him not engaging on them, having a salve here like wouldn't matter. Zeeing through 4 tangos, sure, but like, there's no huge burst damage or anything. That being said, might change right now. Tiny's on level 2. Again, what I was saying earlier, it's really hard for them to test the hard camp pool against these two heroes. They need to cast some spells though. Ooh, a lot of spell damage. So that's one downside of Bassy. Bassy gives no stats. Instead of a Bassy, he could have had a stick and a raindrop right now, which that would definitely have helped him survive. And without wave pushing, he loses like 5 creeps, like a full wave's worth of EXP. He's going for the stick now, which makes sense. I've often found myself in these situations buying more regen after dying. Maybe that's not necessary. It's like, what are the odds you actually trade at this point? Stun, stun, classic. Oh, they're gonna keep going. Oh, he missed the CS. I don't think they like killed the hard camp pool. They should be doing this literally every minute. Also, another nice thing is that with the wave pushed forward, allows them to get free access to bounty runes. In theory. Oh, Lordy. Oh, he's not even looking. Oh, half. He's way more priority on these creeps. So I feel like it's gonna bite him now. How he not bought any regen after he died the first time. Dying here would really suck with a 20-second TP. Actually, he'd probably have it back up by the time he respawns. I don't know what the plan is here. If he TP's home, that's really sad. Maybe ping his Void Spirit over. Otherwise, he's wasting a lot of his time. Like, Tiny's fine running after him here. Maybe turn? Yes. I think it's made it a little bit too obvious. You can't turn around until he's like past the high ground, I think. Although, I think Bracer is really showing its value here, as not even just like a tank up item and you can trade easier and blah blah blah, but the HP regen too. Because he was down to like 200 health or something while I was running around, and he's back up to 700 now. But still, he doesn't have... like, I don't know. Not having bought more regen is really sad. He's buying it now. He could have bought it any time when I was running around. Because like right now, what can he do? I mean, if he waits around, he can go stack hard camp for himself, which I kind of expect him to do. The other option is like running home. Or I guess just going for tier 2 tower regen. Interesting. Mid first makes sense. Kind of. I guess it's for Tiny so he doesn't get blown up and whatnot. But... and Oracle's magic damage. But Mag is physical, Ricky's physical. This lane's going quite poorly at this point. Void TP's in. Another thing I've noticed is that Sanking's really, really slow. I've been a huge fan of getting like bots on him when possible. It's super greedy and it obviously stops it from getting like Greaves. But depending on the 4, that could be alright. Or 4 or 5, you know, if you have like 4 or 4 or whatever. But I wouldn't mind like the Lumineers. Oh no. Oh honey. Detection? Yeah. Alright. So it's been like a hot second since he's actually been able to see us in lane. Why was that? Tiny rotated over, so there's 3 people there. He didn't really have regen. I'm just trying to think of like if this happened to me, if I had like a tri-lane coming in. I guess part of me can accept it, because like that means in theory my safe lane's having like a great old time. I'm gonna check its CS here. And alright. Yeah, I mean top lane's fucking crushing it. 48 and 28 denies. Oh shit. Yeah, Beastmaster 02 lower EXP than Sanking. So I guess you're kind of fine just running around or whatever, but it's kind of sad because I think he could have just gone and jungled. That's another thing with... I'm not sure level 2 Sandstorm or level 1 Caustic's worth more. It's 70 damage per creep, but this does... this more than doubles between level 1 and level 2 Sandstorm from 20 to 45. So... I don't know. I just know that like dying feels so fucking bad as offlaner. So because if you like start chain feeding, then like you're not even a core anymore. You're just a support. But yeah, okay. So like just like I just did there, he went and checked his safe laner to see how he's doing because he knows that there were like 3 heroes committed to the bot lane, and he gets confirmation and is like, oh great, my Slark's just like popping off. Whatever. It's annoying that it dies, but we'll deal with it. Lanes gets pushed. Also, Sanking's like a huge tower defender. Although let's see how many creeps he misses because of Caustic. 1. Oh, just 1. Okay. He's better than I am. But yeah, he gets confirmation that top swing. Fine. Definitely plays way more safe than I do. He sees no one on the enemy team. Map. I should change Fog to just Dire, probably. Because like I wouldn't know that these people are TPing. And yeah, they just run at it again. That's fucked. Buys out at least. Bot Tranquils? I'm not sure if that was... Wait, I don't wanna rewind that real quick. Was that... did he actually have Tranquils on his quick buy? So we have Hood, obviously. Does he like decide split second that, oh god, my lane is shit, I'm going Tranquils, like Tranquils Yule's Blink, which I feel like is a classic combo for offlaners when you're having bad game. You see it on like Mars and whatever else. Yeah. Yeah. You're just like, nope, fuck it. I'm buying Tranquils. Tranquils Bassy. Yeah, this feels like pause for items. He does end up winning this game. And I know Dodobuff did say that he lost the lane, so it's also interesting to see like how does he come back. Level 5 he grabs a level 2 Sandstorm. I think that's pretty standard. I've been making a habit of only grabbing ulti like level 9, 10. That might be too late. Just having high levels of Sandstorm feels so nice though. Should be able to farm. Just run back. It's really sad. On the other hand, I don't know what Lena's really been up to either. She has CS. She's gonna see us. Like, she's literally higher level than the Sand King is. He might buy the tome this game. The lane's pushed way too up. He can't walk up there. Because, like, what just happened? He's just gonna die. And that's better than me. Because I would've just walked up. Me much more conscious. Because safe laners will love to just try to, like, push their advantage. Here. Yeah. So before he had Hood queued up. And I feel like that's the move when you're ahead. I'm gonna write this down too. Just like the item choices while ahead or behind. I feel like when you're ahead, I'm a huge proponent of like tank up. Like the tankier you build, the more aggressive you can be. Which feels a little bit backwards. You think like, oh yeah, buy more mobility and more damage items or whatever, and then you play aggressively. I really don't think so. I think the more aggressive items you build, the less opportunity you have, or like the safer you have to play, right? You don't have defensive capabilities. You have to completely outplay the opponent. Or like you get caught out with fucking 1000 HP, 4 armor, and you're just gonna die. So I think like while ahead, or like even, go for these tank items. Hoods, vanguards, mechanisms and greaves, so on and so forth. And if behind, you gotta like make plays, get these mobility items, blink, force, Yules, tranks. Because you can't tank up, stat up, because like we already know the enemy is gonna have more stats, more damage. You can't compete in that sense, but move speed's like harder to like catch up on, because obviously there's like blink daggers or whatever. But and if you have a blink, like how do these people ever catch you? I don't know. I think like Sand King's a very mobile hero, and if you don't take advantage of that, you're like really losing out. Like as I mentioned before, Sand King's still a really solid lane defender. So like in lanes I've lost, I definitely like doing this. I was just like, sit in front of my tower, don't let them take that, and let them like snowball their map advantage. Probably have to go... Oh, de-ward himself. Ooh, Ricky TP'd. Okay, this is opportunity. This will happen often, like the safe laner will either go... Oh, we saw that Oracle. So you always one-on-one the support. I saw this in... I want to give credit where credit's due. I can't recall. It might have been Ice. No. It was the Boxy gamer class video. I didn't see the whole thing, just the clip of it that they have uploaded on YouTube. And he's like, okay, you're losing the lane, whatever. You get boots, you get tranquils, you get mobility. Because again, you can't fight these safe laners, but you can always fight the supports. If you can't fight the supports, well, you're kind of fucked. Because you're so far behind. But you should, in theory, be able to have items just higher EXP, so higher level abilities and whatnot to be able to trade the supports or like shove them out. Because a lot of the times, safe laners don't want to just sit in the safe lane. Because like, yeah, they clear the creep wave, but they're not getting any further ahead. They want to go start farming here, let me put on free cam. Start farming this camp, the hard camp, the small camp. Maybe make your way through. The triangle is obviously like God farm area, depending on what carry it is. If it's like a TB, Drow, Sven, so on and so forth. So they will leave your lane. So when there's opportunities like this, like even though you've like he's fucking shooting the bed a bit. Let's see, let me go to net worth. Yeah, so he's 5th net worth. Look at his Lina. His Lina's like caught up. Obviously their offlaner is also having a fucking god-awful game. But he's like coming to these engages and whatnot. Right now, this is your opportunity. The safe lane carry will leave. If he's not leaving, then your carry should be going around and farming so much more. So when they leave, you gotta like clear this wave, put pressure on the tower, force people here, be able to fight one-on-one with the supports. Obviously, keep an eye on the minimap, so if people disappear. Because ideally, it's like you take their safe lane tower, and then... Can I not draw? Unless it's moving. I think it's something like that. Yeah, that's silly. Take their safe lane tower, start farming up these camps, or allow for the map to be split like in half. Can I draw? Nope. Sad. Troll? Alt? Does it also have to be moving? Replay is bullshit. Anywho, to split the map so that your carry can farm the triangle and these camps and the lane whenever they want to. Because like they might put some pressure on this tower, but they really shouldn't. Like it really doesn't matter that much. So ideally you take this tower down so it feels much less safe for the enemy team to be in this bottom jungle area, forest, whatever. And then it's much more easier to focus in onto the mid tower. I'm kind of surprised he's not coming to this. I mean, so they're underleveled offlaner in this. They should be winning this regardless. I don't think he cares too much. And again, he wants to take this opportunity to get as much as he can out of the lane. I'm gonna go back to player perspective. Again, he even tanked a bit here for the catapult. He's not doing it anymore, which is a shame. But also Slark, really smart move. Level 10, or sorry, 10 minutes. You know the catapult spawning. It's a huge opportunity to get some towers. Ooh. It's really bad. Obviously, diving tower is the easiest chance for them to counter-initiate. So, but you know, there's always this like push and pull, this like flow on the map. So because they committed TPs there, it means they can't commit TPs mid. So this tower might go down. It's 10 minutes with the catapult. Tiny knows this, so has to try to defend. Sanking's looking at this too. He's looking, he's like, do I go to this? Or does he defend his own tower? Defends his own tower. Again, I think you need to be a little greedy. Well, that's what I've like figured. But I find it really difficult to like find the line between being greedy or not. Because like in my games, like some of these, they're like utter stomps. And like, I think I'm literally highest net worth. Which, yeah, literally highest net worth. Which is a bit of a problem because I'm taking map or gold off the map for others. But also I'm just like, well, if they're not utilizing it and if I can pressure freely, I'm gonna do it. But the difference between like, oh, when do I like defend and farm? Or like the pressure versus joining team fights is still kind of difficult. But I love doing this. Saying he just clears stacks so efficiently. Multiple waves. Oh, we saw someone. There it is. Stick. This is really rough. He doesn't leave immediately though. He knows he has a shit ton of damage in the turn. Another nice part of Tranquil is you have way more staying power. But as I was saying, yeah, I really love like drawing the creep wave into hard camp, small camp, whatever. You do it on so many different offlaners. Sand King, Axe, Timber, Bristle, Centaur, like literally any of them. Anyone that has like a AoE nuke of some sort and some tankiness. Obviously Sand King doesn't really have that tankiness in this game, but in theory. He has like pseudo tankiness because you just go into this and don't take damage. So the question is, what does he do now? He's 500 gold off of his Blink Dagger, which will obviously enable him a ton. He's gonna shove these waves. He's gonna go, see, if it were me, so I'm trying to predict. Oh, he's looking here, so maybe I'll give it away. I know it makes a lot of sense to like swap where the safe laner and off laner are often, because again, the safe laner wants to take this triangle area. This is the dead lane, so you can also like throw support up here to just like defend the tower idly and whatnot. But you could also go there, put some tower pressure, farm a little bit, try to rotate between them. But there's much less farm here, and you don't want to be like back here because this should be for the carry. So I don't love putting the offlaner here. I'd rather much like a pause 4 or 5, get some CS and some EXP. Also, if like again, dead lane, they can easily come take this tower, and you don't want to be feeding as a core, especially when he's so close. But I guess Sand King's job is a tower defender, so he goes up here, and he sees Mag on the map. He knows Tiny's not having a great game, so he knows he can't be that aggressive. But like, this is the awkward part, I think. So farm out the wave, right? Now what is he gonna do? Farm the hard camp, I guess. But yeah, the rookie already stole half of it. We see people in the triangle. Yeah, he's telling his Slark to go from over there, or even his pause too, which makes sense. I guess he only really needed 2 full creep waves for his blink anyways. But I don't think you want to be making plays around here. Alright, so he has blink gold. He might buy smoke, which I've been doing. Or detection even. Let me check that real quick. Slow down, free camera. Alright. Yeah, he brought dust. Alright. He knows the rookie's the problem, so. Again, I feel like it's really awkward like walking back to these camps. Because like, yeah, cool, he cleared 2 creep waves, right? But now they're showing 2 there. Is he gonna defend this? He has blink, so he can try to make a play. Especially TP. Ooh, smoke rotation, okay. It's 3 plus 2 supports though, which I think feels kinda sketch. Let's see. Alright. Point Geppy. Oh my god. Okay, I don't know why I doubt it. I guess when you see kill opportunity like that. So I need to think more about like, what do these other heroes actually bring? Like Ench doesn't really bring that much. He can bring detention and like a slow, which is kind of useless. He also blocked the hard camp. But Lina just brings so much damage. Lina's level 10. Holy titties. So bounties, you look to mid. I really like the BSJ idea that like you should consider creeps mid as an objective, as if they're hitting your tower, regardless if there's someone there or not. So heavily prioritizes that. Where does he go next? He has his pause 1 top, so he might look to connect there. Pause his bottoms and connect there, or steal more farm up from that. Whatever you do, I think you do not run back into your own jungle. Because I'm always thinking about like, oh, I want to steal farm away from the enemy team. So he's gonna bot. Okay. Again, it's like really hard to like solo kill people in Dota 2 just in general. I think it was Sanking as well. Not that he like really needed the help here, but I guess if anyone retreated or whatever else. Now, how much pressure will they put on this tower before we go back in? There's shit happening top, but it's again, dead lane, you don't give a shit. Void Spirit TPs, which means ye might TP. Catapult's higher priority. So I need to pay attention to that too. It was 16 minutes, I didn't think that the catapult would be alive. Actually, I wasn't thinking about the catapult at all, in all honesty, so I'll put that down. Play around catapults. Pushing, funding, prioritize, mid push. It's all nice too, because you see how the mid lane's push, so in theory you'll see someone else on the Radiant come show for it soon. Also, it makes like so much more of the map, like all of this area feels really unsafe, unless it's pushed down a bit. So you can just farm a couple of these camps for free as well. He's just chilling here, damn. Excuse me. I'm talking too much. Need a drink. Stay hydrated. Sax camp for himself. Like it. Ooh. Look, 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 look. Alright, I guess he stacked the camp for the enemy team. He's not looking out. I guess he just figured he was uber dead. That's strange to me. A lot of sentries. He really doesn't want to get like caught. That's unfortunate though. It's pinging. We're gonna kill. So I think you don't immediately show here. Immediately showing means like, because we already saw everyone in the jungle there. So they're gonna just kill you immediately. So he waits a bit. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I do not do that. I see other like I think Arteezy particularly does this as carry. Like when he knows he can't show, he'll just sit in trees. So when in danger. Good position, sit in trees, and wait. Cool. And he's really prioritizing this bot lane. I'm really surprised. There's creeps hitting his mid tower right now. I guess his pause one's around there. They're taking like an ancient stack or something. Like I could look to TP there. Although always like, I also think about like TP is like a big commitment actually. So you have to think about, oh, do I really want to be TPing here? And the enemy will see it, especially if it's like pushed into their tower. So they're like, oh, Sanking TP'd mid, he can't TP to some other engage. Looks like a fight. Really doesn't give a shit. He's actually just planting himself down here. But it's kind of working. You see his net worth is caught up a fair amount. He's rivaling the rookie. And also because he's had the lane position like this, when an engage like that happens, now you can tell his whole team's like, oh, come down here. The wave's in a great place. We can just, Holy fuck, these monsters. This could be a free tower, which is mega value at this time, because if you can get both outposts for 20 minutes. I'm really surprised with his camera positioning. Again, he's not looking at what's happening. like what spells are being cast. Not that I'm particularly good at it either. Actually, so who would I prioritize here? Ricky's a big kill, obviously. Mag is scary, so we have to watch out for Mag counter initiate with RP, so not group. We want to make sure we don't get picked off by Tiny doing combos. We also probably want to protect our squishier cores like Ench and Lena from being Tiny comboed. If we can get on top of the Oracle, that'd be pretty big, because Oracle's just so much fucking sustain in fights, and you're not able to burst or carries. Beastmaster has Roar, so I guess, I mean, it's hard to say that like any of these would be low value targets. He also has really nice mobility follow-up from both Slark and Void Spirit. So I obviously wouldn't look for like a perfect Epi Burrow Strike here. If anything, I'd probably just look for anyone that's caught off guard and is near my allies, so I know that there's follow-up. Because again, Sand King's never killing someone solo. So if there's like an LSA to follow up with Laguna, or Astral Step into Void Spirit shenanigans, Slark's just right-clicking the shit out of them. What does Slark even have at this point? SMY Midas, William BKB. This guy's Yule's almost Ags. Not almost, halfway to Ags. I mean, Lena just fucking exists. So these are things that I want to be thinking about beforehand. Because, like, there's nothing stopping me from thinking about it, right? Because most of the time I'm just, like, walking around. Like, when Sand King was sitting bot, just fucking farming in front of their tier 2. I mean, what else are we gonna do? We'll think about, oh, what are fights gonna look like? What are items I want to build? He has 4 staff now, which is nice. If his one is warrior response, of course. Helps D-ward. Again, more utility and whatnot. I mean, he's caught up in farm, but I guess he's still... If he gets roared, if he gets RP'd, Ricky or Mac can just like wreck the shit out of him until he dies. So I guess going mobility is the way. Let's smoke up. They couldn't get the sub 20 minute tier 2 towers, unfortunate, but they know they're gonna be around bounties. Does Radiant know this though? Nope, smoke broke. 4 staff first. Oh, interesting. I didn't think about how Ricky could play. And they booked the fuck out of there. It's really funny. It just kind of shows like how... I really like the 4 staff first though. I didn't think of that. Because it's way easier to blink stun someone after. And Force will like push you forward and just like give you vision. It's interesting, you gotta think about like, which items do you want to be using when. Obviously, like the 4 staff biggest usage will be against Smoke Cloud and whatnot. Or like Escape. It's all going Aeondus. It just shows like how afraid he is of like this burst damage. Does use first make sense? I guess it's more control. Mana Regen is also really, really nice. I kind of like this casual Bassi, actually, now. I think it was kind of iffy in lane. Because it's like, oh, he had an advantage and then he lost it immediately. But... Pause for look at that. Oh, no. Okay, yeah. So this like validates his fear. Like how much damage they do. We got the nice... Again, he stuns only when there's follow-up. I would look for an epi here, but I'm greedy. Honestly, epi is probably suicide because right now it's only 2 there. It's 2v4. But still, Sand King knows it's his job to defend, although it's scary. I guess the counter initiate. I think counter initiating is like way more value than just initiating upright. Unless you get like the god 5-man RP black hole. Oh, yeah. I'm surprised how quickly it shows back in lane though. Like earlier I felt like he waited way longer. And there's no one showing. But also I guess he's really mobile. Oh, Yule's also helps with dust. Interesting. So, he's really making it his home, this bottom lane. He wants to be annoying to the enemy. It's scary though. But he also knows this is a dangerous farm at this point. Maybe? In theory, I feel like you'd take like these hard camps and like this triangle in these camps are kind of like the Radiant safe lane's job. But I guess they have too much damage and Ricky's like really scary. Especially because Slark. Oh, he has BKB now, but having to like pop BKB every time would be like awful. So he shoves wave. Definitely worth this team fight. Like I said earlier, he's gonna stun anyone as long as they're close to teammates. Sanking is just like such a nice enabler type thing. Wait, this is a one team fight. Probably Roche. Yeah. There's no. They have RP, but I really don't think so. He knows he doesn't bring much to a Roche attempt, so he's just gonna shove the wave. Reveal the air to counter initiate if need be. Oh yeah, those juicy 92 damage right clicks. Let's go. Question is, where do you go next with this? Okay. You have Aegis, he has Yules now, so it's survivable. Mid lane again. Crews are hitting bot lane. I can see many cores going to try to farm that, me included. Power runes are nice to check for. What's he showing? Again, he's... Ooh, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. See, like... Alright. The rest of the team were quick to gut there and whatnot, but... I don't know. I mean, like, Epi is not a huge, like, team fight ulti the same way, like, RP or Black Hole is. It's fine. And he got the kill, obviously, so I think that was right to push his advantage. But that feels so sketchy. I guess if they're out of position, you go for it. Oh. Try to cancel RP, that was nice. Did he never get his rules? Oh, sitting back. No point like standing in the middle of the fight, so he's gonna build tank items. He's just waiting for opportunities to get multi-hero stuns like that. Really nice. Again, he waits, he walks away, his blinks on CD, his stuns on CD, he doesn't bring anything into the fight. He can look to force staff his teammate out, especially with Smoke Cloud. Yep. Stuns, runs away, resets. Defeating, he's leaving. He has no mana. He might look to like help his Slug out if he has to. So I'm not saying that like his lack of Epi was like a big deal there or whatever. Also, this is another reason I like Ags a lot on this hero, because you can just initiate from forever away to go on your teammates. But we saw like kind of how useless SK is if he whiffs his stun. Like yeah, the stun's really nice. It's 2.1 seconds, 2.2. Even here, like this is like you're never killing Ricky, I think. There's just two people. But like it would have been huge if you got that mag stun off first. But pretty heavy on bot tower. You could, in theory, go defend top. Oh, mag's gone. Big creep wave top. I'm not even looking at it. I feel like defending tier 2s is kind of a big deal. I guess staying off the map is also kind of nice, though. I don't know, I just feel like it doesn't bring that much map pressure. Like, usually, like, I love just planting myself in different lanes. That's half the reason I go with bots, because I'm like, oh, I can just go to this lane, shove out, like, 2-3 waves, maybe steal a jungle camp, and they can't catch me, ever. And I'm just an annoying piece of shit. God, even with Tranquil's Yules, he's like 380 move speed. So he's lost heroes top, obviously he can't go. Maybe, okay, so he might have had a better idea that they would be multiple heroes top. I guess you'd never hit that when a lot of people aren't showing if you're not solo. Interesting. Did you see how he like ran away immediately after his stun? That's really neat. It does little gem drops trick to the high ground. Magnet is huge. It's pretty tier 3. It's fascinating. So again, there's this like value of counter initiation. I, as I say, he just walks and initiates. Ooh, aggressive force staff too. Like it. This is kind of sketchy. Like, it's way safer to wait for them to initiate on you. Like, look, he almost fucking died. So, like, he can't really afford to blink stun now because he doesn't get out easily. Yeah. Slark's just giga fat. I guess it is his job to initiate. Look at his team though. Yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm like holier than thou. I'm better than him, which I'm most definitely not. Not even close, but I'm just trying to decide like, oh, when. I guess like, I think it is if you know the new rules well, you know when to break them type deal. So the idea of like, oh, prefer to counter initiate or. I guess it's fine when he is picking people out of position. I think it's difficult for me to notice or really understand when. Or maybe, you know, he could easily be communicating like, oh my god, what a player. Holy hell. Wait, that's so cool. I didn't even think of that. Good looking defend. So yeah, his like threat range is way higher than I really gave him credit for. Because if he forces himself and goes and blink stuns there, like his teammate has to commit way further. But forcing him into his team is so nice. That's so smart. I should really, holy hell, that's so smart. Fucking runs down. Blink stun, force enemy into team combo. That's so nice, especially for like high ground situations. The gamer. Again, love this positioning, just fucking staying back. And again, I think it would depend a lot on like what if he had like Greaves, Pipe, Shivas or something. I think I'd be probably up there, just smacking tower. I'm just trying to force them to go on me. Again, he really doesn't deal with like the split push much. I guess the only threat there was Beastmaster, who's poor as fuck. So it doesn't matter too much. Cause like I usually make it my job to go D-push lanes, and maybe that's wrong. Because yes, Sand King does it really well. I think if he has bots, it's okay. Because you don't have to worry about, yeah, getting back to the fight. But I think I've only been flamed 1 or 2 times for going off and like farming, air quotes. When I just want to like deal with lanes. Because then I'm not for the team fight. And again, if you're going to deal with something and it's in lane, like obviously you're in vision, so you're exposing yourself to the enemy team that you're not there and can't join team fights. Oh, they actually see the Riki. That's century. Oh, this is looking pretty over, actually. 26k gold lead. But what did Sand King actually contribute? He put pressure on the bot lane constantly. It was pretty nice. Forced people to go there every once in a while. I guess when you are like this kind of pause 4-y Sand King, your job is just to initiate. I don't know, I think like pause 3 in my head is this very tanky type thing. Yeah, they're just clowning around at this point. So like try to fountain dive or whatever. Oh, did the same play. That's so cool. I think the move's a stun first. So because Sand King stuns instant. Again, doesn't matter. They're far enough ahead. But also, like, I was kind of big they did it 2 times. It's like Mag was like the only hope they really had. And we saw how poorly the fight went, like outside their base here by the mid 2-2 Radiant tower, when he wasn't able to cancel the RP. So, what's that? I think that was a pretty interesting game when he doesn't win lane. I think I'd like to do a replay analysis of when you win lane, and just like the types of itemization. Obviously it depends on like the player, playstyle, so on and so forth, but well, he definitely did like, I don't want to say feed, but he was not looking great in net worth early on. I guess Alina kind of made up for it. Like, yeah, the beginning was great. He bought his Bassi, and then he got, like, ganked, and this Tiny was just, like, sitting in his lane. But... And then I guess he avoided dying. Just staying away from the Ricky. But, okay. Let's see my messy notes that I had thrown together. We have starting items. Quelling Gauntlet 2x Mango 2x Tango. So this is like the sustain items when he knows there isn't like a huge amount of burst damage. That being said, he waited to like buy items until it was Bassi, Bracer, and then Wand. I think that was a mistake. I think that's kind of bold to probably claim. But I think not getting more regen is questionable. I see that quite often that they bring out more regen. These mangoes or the set of tangos probably switched out for a healing pot if you see like more bursts, or if you see like a CM jug type shenanigans. But even in those land lanes, you might get move speed. By the way, I think this worked out pretty well, especially with the bracer. You just have so much regen, you're so annoying. Like having like 2 mangoes and bracers is probably my favorite thing early on as an offlaner. He got this Bassi to push his advantage with his very mana hungry pause 4, which I think is really neat. Of course, it didn't really work out for him because the Tiny rotated over, and then he died like 2, 3 times in a row. But I think that's an interesting idea. I'll probably keep that in mind. Otherwise, I see a lot of offlaners going wands, rain droplets, which I saw he never got, or even just like casual windlays. So I think that's interesting to think about. I'm not a huge fan of getting tranquils or being like forced to get tranquils, because that means no greaves, no bots, whatever. I guess you could get bots after regardless, but if you had to go for these tanky items, like we saw they had queued Hood, um, be able to make plays, but as soon as he died a second time, he just bought out the Tranquils and was like, alright, I'm going this Blink Force, initiation type builds, be annoying, whatever. I can't just sit in front, tank damage, because I will just die. And thankfully, like, the high mobility and, like, high net worth Slark is, like, kind of able to take that role. Um, I really like this whole, when in danger by good positions in the trees and wait. So this is when he was in the Radiant, like, bottom jungle, and his Void Spirit got picked off. I don't know when this was. But then he's like, just sits in the trees and he's like, alright, as soon as they leave, I'll go back to being annoying and push in this lane and try to force people into this lane. And then obviously that was a really cool Blink Stun and then Force Staff the Magnus into the team combo. High ground situations I hadn't thought about. I think probably in part because I don't buy um let's see, Laskable. That's not how you spell Sanking. But Laskable Sanking games, I don't think I bought Blink and Force together. Yeah, I have like Ags, Shiva, bots, Yules, shenanigans. But that's a really neat idea that I hadn't thought about that I'll think about doing in the future. But yeah, that was that. I'll have to look and try to find some more. Maybe Ohio. There's obviously a bunch of offlaners I really look up to. I think Ice is one of the big one of them. Maybe I'll grab one of his YouTube videos and try to do analysis on top of that. Maybe I'll do another Ohio gameplay, because I found another replay where he also played Sand King and did a really similar build. So be curious to see if he always goes this, regardless if he wins or loses his lane. But yeah, let's see. I think that was fun. Hopefully I learned something from it. I think I'm going to go solo queue after this and see if I go feed a bunch or not. Or maybe I can keep in mind a couple of these things that he did. But cool. That's that. Thank you.